Hey everybody, I am driving right now, as you can obviously tell, but doing this video right now mostly just because, you know, I feel like there's time to do it, and knowing me, when I'm over at Williams, I always get really distracted, so I can't do a whole lot of things. And then also, too, I hate when I'm trying to type up really long messages on my tablet, because writing messages up on a tablet, it's not the same as having a keyboard, and I don't have one of those fancy little doodads that props up the keyboard. But anyway, yeah, so, God, I can't believe it's New Year's. Like, seriously, though, 2015 was not nice to anybody. It really wasn't. Like, 2015 was such an odd year, because, I'm seeing so many things. Like, a lot of people lost a lot of loved ones, a lot of people lost, like, pets, which are loved ones still, but gosh, like, just 2015 was not nice to anybody. Like, me, I know, it was kind of kicking my butt, especially during the summertime, which really sucked, mostly just because, like, emotionally, and then also, too, like, I had to move. There was just a lot of stuff going on. So anyway, funny thing is, I don't really regret any of that, though. Mostly just because, you know, it's true, like, I'm glad that I went through a lot of crap this year, because I needed to grow, like, as a person. And it's funny because a lot of people would think, oh, I would have, like, I could have done without that, I could have done without that, and for me, you know, even though sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't freaking handle this, and obviously I have to pray about it, because knowing me and my anxiety just goes freaking off the wall. But anytime there was like, oh, I don't freaking need this, I need to realize it's not so much that I don't, quote-unquote, need this. It's actually I do, because when trials come up in your life, it kind of helps you deal with shit like that, excuse my language, it kind of helps you deal with stuff like that later on. And it's cool, because the fact that, you know, there's so much stuff you can, like, run into in your life that you're not freaking used to. And when you're not used to it, obviously you don't know how to go about it. So, of course, you need to go through trials and tribulations in your life, because how else are you going to understand how to handle stuff? So anyway, I'm actually really glad that, you know, I do, and I didn't realize this, but I kind of have anxiety. It's not, like, as heavy as some people's anxiety, thankfully. Like, it's not so much where I had to take, like, medication just to calm down. But my form of anxiety is mostly, how to explain it? I would have moments where I would feel very inadequate because I feel limited, and I would get angry because I feel like, no, I shouldn't just, like, I can't just not do what I should be doing, if that makes any sense. Like, say, you know how sometimes you feel like you're not much of a successful person, and, you know, you feel like other people are, and that they're suffering more, that you should suffer more. Like, I don't know, that was my mentality. Like, how come, you know, other people were willing to do, like, 16-hour school days on top of 3 jobs, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how some people can do that mess. Like, I'm blown away by people who can do crazy hours. But, you know, I had to get over that. I had to learn that I'm not the absolutely fabulous, beautiful robot that I thought I was, you know? But, and it's a good thing, because I had to learn a lot of stuff about myself this year, and it's really good because, you know, I need to stop being afraid of doing things that I want to do because I'm worried about finances. And I'm like, you know what, I need to take more risks, because I don't take a whole lot of risks, mostly just because I'm like, oh, if I do, like, I'll be stuck, you know? And I'm like, no, it's not so much that, it's just, if I do certain things. Like, yeah, risks. For a good example, risks. Like, for me, I get afraid that if I do this thing, I'm gonna make people around me upset. And I need to, like, really stop worrying about that, because that was the one thing that really prevented me from doing a lot of things I wanted to do in life. And that's why I kind of have, like, 3 jobs currently, but I can actually... I'm surprised I can balance 3 jobs. Like, when I thought about it, when I was in... What is it, school? Yeah, when I was in school, I was like, how the hell am I gonna balance all... Like, how could I balance, like, 3 jobs? I have no idea. And I'm doing it now. So that's interesting. And it's not hard, because my, well, second job, it's just, like, it works very much around my own time, and it's, like, I don't even work it all the time, so it's my face painting job. Like, it's contract work. But then I also help this guy organize stuff, which is my 3rd job, and then I've got my photography job, which I am very surprised I've been able to balance, like, my photography job and the organizing job, because it's just insane how, like, the hours could be, like, really busy to not busy at all with the photography job. So there's that. But you know what? I really need to start looking into a job that I want to do. And it sucks because jobs that I really want to have are available, but it's more or less I haven't taken the time to look for the opportunity. And I'm kind of mad at myself for that, because I really could just make a whole bunch of cool things and sell them. And because there's a lot of boutiques here in, like, in Phoenix, like, it's amazing how many boutiques there are. I just need to design and make, and I just make up the excuse of, oh, I'm too busy. Which in itself is true, but not necessarily. Mostly just because, heck, like, I have some time to work on cosplay. I have time to go, like, buy things for, like, materials and whatnot. But, you know, it's more or less, I gotta stop making up this excuse of, oh, I need to make sure I have enough money first. Which is stupid, because I never have enough money to anything. Like, right now with my 3 jobs and whatnot, hell, like, I'm actually kind of comfortable, because it's cool, because I have enough money to get, like, gas, I have enough money to, like, buy groceries, and make rent. So, well, I've got food stamps for food, but whatever. Like, I'm living comfortably, which is nice, but there's a problem with that, because... You know, I'm not taking the time that I could be working on stuff and utilizing it to my advantage, if that makes any sense. Because, I mean, obviously I'm working on, like, cosplay and whatnot, but while I'm working on cosplay or I'm, like, derping around on the internet, I really could be creating something, and that's where I'm really hurting myself, is when I'm lazy. When I'm being lazy, I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking breaks. Obviously, that was another thing I needed to learn, was there's nothing wrong with taking a break. But, you know, you gotta understand, you gotta do what you gotta do. But, like, responsibility. But, it's just been a really unusual roller coaster ride of where I needed to be mentally. And, you know what, I'm glad that a lot of this has happened. And I'm so happy I've learned from it, you know? Like, even though I look back on it and say, ugh, I hated every moment, you know what? I'm actually really glad that it happened, because had it not happened, I would not have grown mentally in the way that I needed to. Because a lot of people, I think, are just more afraid of change. And I don't mind change, I really don't. It's just that obviously when it comes, I'm like, what the heck is happening? Oh my god, blah, blah. But, you know, that's just kind of how it is. But yeah. I'm excited for 2016. I really hope I can achieve more of my dreams, because I need to stop not doing them, you know? I'm excited because, you know, I want to take more chances, and I want to grab at more opportunities. And, you know, I just need to, because I just haven't. Like, I made so many excuses of, oh, I need to get to here, I need to get to there, but you know, even though I made up all those excuses and wasn't really thinking about all of it, I think it's actually good that I'm doing it now. Because if I started way too early, I would not have any idea what I was doing. Like, I probably would be all, yeah, I can totally do this, and then get extremely discouraged. Because that's what always happens to me, is when I'm looking at stuff online, is I think, you know, oh man, I could totally be doing this thing, and when I look at it and try to kind of get into it, I get extremely discouraged. I get, like, very overwhelmed, and that happens way too often. Like, I hate when I get overwhelmed and I can't think. Pardon me. But yeah, I'm excited for 2016. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be very interesting, and you know, I'm not really afraid. I'm glad. And a lot of people are hoping that 2016 is gonna be a more positive year. You know, you need to, I think that's the one thing that I thought was really kind of funny about everyone wanting 2016 to be a positive year, is because even though, you know, 2015 was a rather negative year, you know, you wouldn't have that outlook of, man, I can't wait for the good times. Because you need the negative to have the positive. Because you have to understand you can't take all the good times for granted. And also, too, like, you know, you just don't want to forget that bad times happen. Like, it sucks. Like, it does. Like, it really does. You know, we lost 2 celebrities this year that I actually kind of got sad about, because they were 2 people who I admired, and that would be Leonard Nimoy and Robin Williams. And of course, like, you know, when I heard about that, I mean, like, Leonard Nimoy, I guess, makes a little more sense, because he was, like, in his late 80s. He kind of, his was a little more of a, I think it was more natural. I'm not sure, I can't remember. But I don't remember exactly how he passed, but that was a bit of a shock for me. And then when I heard Robin Williams died the way he did, it kind of struck a chord, because my grandfather had committed, well, I'm just gonna say, because it's not like a bad word or anything. My grandfather committed suicide, and when people have their demons, it's really, it's really trying, and it's really challenging to be strong. And I think a lot of people sometimes don't know that it's okay to not be strong. That was one of my problems, I know that. You know, as someone who's been told that they're a very strong person, like, multiple times by a lot of people, excuse me, it's interesting because, you know, when you think with a strong mentality, you don't understand why people are all about certain things. And I get confused sometimes where I'm like, why are you upset about this thing that you shouldn't be upset about? And then I get upset about something simple, and I'm like, why am I upset about something stupid, you know? But that's just how strong mentality works. But it's interesting because I probably will never not have that lesson to learn. But it's interesting to see how people try to be as strong as they can be, but they fall when they try too hard. And that's probably why they say there is strength and weakness and strength. Because, well, vice versa. But, like, you know, it's interesting because when you are a strong person, sometimes it feels like you are trying to hide your weaknesses because you don't want people to, like, you don't want people being, like, you don't want pity parties. And when you're a weak person and you try to act strong, you get, like, shit for it. And that ain't right either. But, you know, it's interesting because it's like, it's that whole damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. But, crap, I just remembered. Like, right as I'm rubbing my eyes, I'm like, I didn't bring my glasses. I'm wearing contacts right now. Totally like, here, let's take a serious conversation and just, like, turn it around. But, yeah, it's interesting, though, because, yeah, like, when you're, you know, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, But on another rate too, we need to stop worrying so much about other folks like saying and expecting things, because that's one thing about my dreams and like the quote-unquote strength and all that other like the anxieties and whatnot. Like I realized where a lot of it sprung from, and it was because of expectations. I remember growing up, I was told, don't be an artist, because not so much that don't, but it's more or less try and figure out a way to make your dreams work so that way you can actually, like, live. Like, you don't, like, basically I was told a lot when I was growing up, don't be a starving artist, don't be a starving artist, don't be a starving artist. And I kind of regret not becoming a starving artist. Because I think I would have had so much more fun, and I probably would have loved it a lot more, or at least, like, I probably would be where everyone expected me to be. But I understand why I was told not to. It's because, like, you know, parents and your loved ones and your family members, they all they want the best for you. Like, they don't want you to have to suffer because of a dream. And they also want you to keep your dreams realistic. Because obviously dreaming big, there's nothing wrong with that. And you shouldn't be afraid to dream big, never ever. But at the same time, you gotta remember when reality punches you in the face and says, hey, you probably have to put your dreams on hold because you're dying. Or like, you need to make rent or something, you know? But yeah, I understand. Like, now, obviously, like, I understand that I'm older. And I'm like, I had to mentally be like, why, you know? And then when you're older, you're like, oh, okay, makes sense. And it is. It's hard when you're younger because you don't freaking understand. And there is a brother on the corner doing push-ups, and yeah, that's what he's doing. Welcome to Tempe, boys and girls. But anyway, alright, dog. You all tough and stuff. Anyway, I'm sorry. I love how it's like two things interrupt like a very serious conversation. Anyway, yes, so, words. Anyway, as someone who just turned 28, it's weird because, you know, the world is definitely an interesting place. And I hope you guys, when you reach certain points in your life, you learn from things. And it's very important. And I feel it's very important to learn from experiences in life because I believe that life will never let you stop learning. And I think that's a good thing. Because, you know, when you get a relationship, you learn about that person. When, like any relationship, really, like friendship, like I say an intimate relationship, but even though it's weird because people take the word intimate and always associate it with like sexual things. But I'm like, no, dude, like the word intimate just means you're really close. And people don't know how to drive today. But yeah, it's interesting because people don't understand intimate means close. Like you have a connection, you have a thing. Like you and your bestie, you and your good Judy, you got a thing going on. You're very intimate. Like you guys know each other. Say you and your good Judy are like, man, let's go get some food to eat. Man, I'm gonna go get a pie. Girl, I'm with you there. That's intimate. Like, you like, obviously too, like if you have an acquaintance friend, you're like, what should we do? We should hang out, right? And then you get to know each other. But anyway, back on subject, it's always good to learn. It's always good to learn about things. Like, never stop learning, because if you stop, like, or if you choose not to learn, that's where things become a problem. Like, if you're like, I don't understand why people give me a hard time for a long time, there's two different scenarios for that. Sometimes people give you a hard time mostly because, yeah, it is a bad thing that you need to change. Because sometimes if, like, you know, if it's a bad thing, you should change. Now, there are other times, too, when it is, like, people give you crap for something that they really shouldn't give you crap for. Like, you know, dreams. like, say you want to be the world's best balloon artist. Like, you can tie so many balloons together and you just made the Eiffel Tower. And that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, because it brings you so much joy. And people are like, nah man, you shouldn't do that, that's stupid. Now that's when people are giving you crap for no good reason. It's like, dude, they've got a talent. Let them do what they want. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't freaking work. Like, that's a different story. But, you know, always grow, always learn. Learn from the bad. Obviously, 2015 helped a lot of people. I hope a lot of people learned from the bad. Now, obviously, loss of people, like, you know, death. Like, I don't know if that really helps anyone learn anything other than, you know, you need to learn that you shouldn't take people and their lives for granted. And then also, too, you know, you need to learn from the person, like, if you were connected to that person in any way, like, if you loved that person, learn from them how to either live or not live your life. Like, say, you know, if they died because of an awful reason, like they OD'd, you know, obviously, don't do drugs, kids, but, like, if they died and, you know, they never got to do all the things that they should have done in their life, you should do the thing that you want to do in your life, because you should. But, you know, it's interesting, because obviously I tell a lot of my friends too, it's like, you know, do what you love, obviously within reason, but do things that you know you should do when you should do them, because you're gonna live to regret it. Like, if you feel you need to hug someone when they're upset, hug that person. If you know you should call someone more, make fucking time to call that person. If you know that a friend of yours you haven't seen in a long time because another friend hasn't been friends with them, and you feel kind of terrible about the fact that they're not friends anymore, but, you know, you're friends with both of them, talk to them both. You know, even though you're kind of stuck in the middle of it, if it's not your drama, if it's not, like, if there's a reason that you guys shouldn't not be friends anymore, I don't know, but if there's a reason why your two friends are not friends anymore, but you're not caught up in that silly drama, you should still be friends with both of them and figure out, like, who in your friendship is worth keeping, because that's happened to me a lot. I have a lot of friends, obviously, and a lot of people have had fallouts with each other, but I'm still friends with a lot of them. And it's kind of funny the way some people fell out of being friends, because I know one of those reasons was because, like, petty jealousy. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You guys, like, aren't friends anymore because, like, Susie wore the same dress to the prom as you? You know, like, that kind of mess. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I don't know. It's stupid things. Like, for me, I'm like, normal people are weird. But, like, it is. It's really confusing. But you know what? It's also kind of cool, because it's interesting to see when they break up as friends for interesting reasons, to see where they are years later, and you're like, you know, you could be friends with that person again if you just got over the fact that you were all Miss Thangy. But, like, seriously, it's so funny. I don't know. To me, it just cracks me up a bit, because I'm like, girl, I don't know. But anyway, 2016 looks like it's going to be pretty cool. And I hope that, you know, I do chase the dreams that I needed to chase. Because if I don't, I'm just screwing myself over. Not really anyone else, but I'm making myself unhappy by not following the path that I need to. But within reason, obviously a lot of meditation and a lot of prayer is going to have to go into a lot of the decisions I make in the future. And they always do. But, you know, I got my mom this book, like a little journal book, for Christmas. And it said something about great things don't come from comfort zones or something like that. And it's funny because she's all, look at this is what I'm telling you girls all the time. And I'm like, Mom, I know, that's why I buy you that book. But, like, the funny thing is that it's not so much that I try to fall in a comfort zone just more or less, I try not to take a risk that I know my mom's gonna freaking yell at me for. It's like, why'd you do that? That's stupid. I'm like, then why the hell are you telling me to take risks? That doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But like, I hate that, you know? Like when people are like, you should do a thing. Why'd you do that thing? I'm like, make up your mind. Like, just, I don't, girl. But anyway, I hope all of you guys take care. Have a good one. I know this year's probably gonna be definitely different. I need to stop paying so much attention to the like news. Well, I mean, I can't say that I shouldn't pay attention to the news, but the news is just nuts. Because I find it funny how the news is like, bad stuff is happening everywhere, but let's pay a close attention to this celebrity drama. But like, it's so stupid. I'm like, news, I don't want to hear about, you know, everyone is offended. I'm like, yeah, no matter what, people are gonna get offended by something. People are probably offended by this video, but you know, that's just how it be. Yeah, so yeah, like I was saying, have a good one, guys. Take care. My name's Markiplier, and welcome back to 2015. So yeah, I'm excited for the world to see how it's gonna be, and the future is gonna be cool. And past me is gonna look on this video and be like, girl, why do we make a video while we're driving? We're not even looking at the camera. I probably look like I got 10 chins and my hair is all frizzified. I don't know. But yeah, have fun, take care. Don't do things that are stupid, even though you're gonna do them anyway. So yeah, bye guys, have fun, love you, and have a happy 2016. Bye! If I can reach for it, reach for death.